We do some get.
Yeah, for once in our lives. Hey, everybody, welcome back to episode 30 of Shattered Earth.
That wasn't funny.
It's been 2 goddamn weeks, and I keep sleeping through all this shit. God damn it. But we're back. And I'm ready to go. Last time, you guys did the Tavern of Lost, and rescued a bunch of people. And now that you've recovered your campsite amidst the half-burned forest in front of you, you are free to do as you wish on your road to Zazseny. To visit Lord
How long were we?
What happened?
How long were we in the tavern for?
That's a good question. Do any of you have a timepiece?
No.
Could I invent one? No.
Could I invent one?
Can I just invent it real quick?
Can I
Maybe.
invent a...
I don't know. Do
Just need to make a digital watch real quick.
you have a? You do have a feature, like a first level artificer feature, that lets you put like very minor effects onto some objects. You can double check and see if that's a timepiece.
I'm gonna cop that real quick then. I would like that. I do.
We stopped by the mansion, right? So can we ask the ghost dude how long we've been gone for?
I mean, I suppose so. It was like,
Shed bright light.
well, that was a quick trip. We're only gone for close to, I don't know, 24 hours.
Felt longer.
You guys blasted through that little sidetrack there. It has not been that long.
Good. It would suck if it was one of those time bullshit things where like we were spent like only maybe 10 hours there. Turned out we lasted like 3 weeks there, and I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, the
No,
whole
10
world has
hours, 10
changed.
years. Tavanta's kids are now grown up.
Yeah.
Oh God!
Yeah.
About the 4-letter words we would hear.
Come back and the whole world is there's a 4th continent now. For no reason.
No. Worse thing. We come back, there's a sun.
Oh yeah.
Oh God!
It's worse for y'all, not me. Anyway.
There's a sun and it's smiling at you. It's got a tiny baby in it.
I have a question. Does it have sunglasses on?
No, it's a tiny baby. It's a baby in the sun.
Why would a sun need sun? Never mind.
You heard like a disgusting sucking sound, and there's a tiny vacuum that rolls up to you in the grass and sniffs your shoes.
So
So
anyway,
anyway.
back to our journey.
I'm glad we went the same way.
Oh God.
Welcome back.
On the road again. It feels so good to be back on the road again.
Indeed.
Are we recording yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bitch.
That was on video.
Yes.
All of it.
That's
Absolutely.
And you continuing to bring it up is also on this video.
Somewhere out there in the multiverse, there's a Teletubby stat block. We'll copy.
No. No.
Challenge accepted.
No. No.
Got
No.
1 HP.
No. 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 I will leave the campaign.
It's the only setting where you could legitimately fight the sun. All right. So after, I guess you guys like led the refugees back. You guys were like, "I'm not leaving you alone. You can't just leave." And they were like, "All right, whatever."
well, we brought them back to the. I think we brought them back because we were like, "Look, you guys have no idea you guys are on a entirely different world. You are incredibly out of your depth. We'll give you a place to sleep and maybe give you some work."
Yeah, welcome to Vegas.
There you go, Teletubby stat block.
Oh
Perfect.
my
I
fucking god.
refuse to look at
I'll
it.
hold
This
on
is-
to that. Right
No,
click, save as.
Yes. Yes.
I swear, if I see a single Teletubby in this world, I'm leaving the campaign.
It's bigger than
This
it
is
really
not-
should be, probably. Why are
This
they
is not a
challenging
threat.
you? Alright,
A challenge 8? Oh god.
I don't think,
What?
I don't think so.
Oh god.
More terrifying than they originally thought. Okay, so
Mhm.
so Bryn, the bartender, essentially puts himself in charge of Mouse and does his own thing. Everyone else kind of fucks off to the four winds eventually. But you guys go back on the road again. Is there anything anyone wants to do in Onyx before you leave that town?
I will have to buy a 50 gold diamond.
I'd like to buy a new tent.
Okay. The tent is possible,
Because-
but diamonds are not.
Damn it.
It takes a
Because,
little
you know-
bit more than that to get diamonds restocked. Source
Unless
them.
you guys had a spare, we all lost our tent.
I have a 2-person tent. I think mine survived.
No.
Okay, yeah.
I have a
So we all go
tinderbox.
to. How much is a 2-person tank?
That's a good question. Let's find
It
out.
had to be the specialized, remember, because of the gravity bullshit.
That's whatever the normal price for a tent is.
Yeah,
Well, I guess I'll look that up.
the gravity fuckery is just a fact of life here, so I don't think they charge extra for that.
Yeah.
It's just the way the tents have to be made at this point. Fuck. What is it called?
2 gold.
Yeah, there you go.
Nah, I'm sorry. Can someone buy that for me?
What? Why are you
I'm
broke?
kidding. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke. It was a joke.
This fucking-
Motherfuckers don't know
This
when I'm
fucking guy.
joking.
No,
I'm
you
not even
just
gonna
said so
bu- I'm not-
deadpan. We thought you were serious.
I'm not even gonna buy a new tent.
Okay.
'Cause
I would
Why?
like to.
'cause I have something better.
A rope and a pinion.
No, Galder's Tower.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Hey.
2-person.
That's
tent, 2 gold.
obvious and draws attention.
It's also
it's
more
fine.
defensible than a tent.
Yeah, 2-person tent, 2 gold. Have fun.
Woo. May I buy a tent? How much? 1 gold, right?
2 gold.
2 gold.
Two
Two.
gold. Odd.
But because they love me, they'll make it 1. No, I'm joking.
No.
Yeah. I'll pay the 2 gold then for the tent.
I'd like to legally take over the world.
Yeah, you're gonna need more than that.
BG, I'd like to buy this the store.
11 trillion gold, everybody.
Why everybody? It's don't rope us all in.
No.
Bullshit.
Y'all are in this now.
It's like Dokapon
I'm
Kingdom.
not
The first to get to
excluded.
11 trillion wins.
All right.
All right,
So there's a
Okay.
price. Got it.
sure.
Yeah.
Definitely keep that in mind because it'll definitely be relevant.
Yeah, BG, I'd like. Continue.
So, anyone else
Everyone
buying
saves
anything
up all
other
the
than
food.
tents?
Nothing else.
Cool.
Mm-mm.
Any conversations anyone wishes to have with anybody else?
Let me pull up my notes here. There's anything I was thinking of for.
Wait, guys, so we are heading. What is our next location again? I'm sorry.
Zazseny.
Oh, wait here.
Zazseny? Okay.
Zazseny
do we
is
wanna-
the essentially the territory of a contact they met before
We're got-
Chase became a noble.
We're off to see the Dwarven Mafia.
Okay.
The Dwarven Mafia.
Cool. So I'm assuming we've
To
already
see
been
the
there and we
thing.
already know what we need to do there. Cool.
No, you've never been there before at all in this game.
Okay.
This
Then
is brand new.
should we ask around here to see if maybe we have somebody who could have been there or Or do you, we just want to?
did
can do
last time.
Did we?
Did we?
No,
At least I tried to. I thought I did.
I don't remember that happening at all.
Okay, let's get some info then before we go.
You guys-
Cool.
So, make a
Bar crawl.
general persuasion check.
Gotcha. Whole bang. Wall bomb. 3. That's one more than 2.
Hey, nice weather we're having. Have you ever been to Zazseny? And they're like, the fuck is wrong with you? They leave.
Can I just be mispronouncing the whole time? Have you been to Zazseny? Have you been to Zazseny?
Have you been to Zazseny? And they're like, Gesundheit? I don't.
Okay, I'm gonna look around for traveling mercantile type and ask them, like, excuse me, sir. I was wondering if I could have a moment of your time. I was wondering, have you recently been to Zazseny? I was hoping to travel there and want to see if there's anything, you might be able to tell us, if you have.
Make a persuasion check.
And do I roll? Are they common folk?
Sure.
Can I add guidance to this?
Well, I mean, yeah, it's cost common as merchants could probably be. 18, sure, why not? That works for me. Yeah, I mean, the DC wasn't that high, but a 3 ain't gonna do it. Yeah, Zazseny is one of the like the shining examples of what Zadmorvis province and their governing policies can do for a city. It's well known for being not only prosperous, but for having low crime rate and for just generally being like like generally like the streets are clean, like the architecture's not busted or broken, like it's very well put together, very much a shining example of what Zadmorvis province is, because it is so close to the border with Cernan.
Cernan and Zadmorvis are the two brothers that are like most promising to the throne. Darvilia is the one with the king that's kind of fucking up with the prince that's kind of fucking up everything, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Gotcha.
Zadmorvis province is the territory of Ursible.
Well, let's go fuck around
and find out.
Yeah. You rolled an 18. Let me see if I wrote down any useful rumors for you.
rumors.
Well, here's one that's not super crazy. There is the college's main supplier of wands has a shop in Zazseny.
What's the name of the shop?
Burga's Carvings.
All right, that's better than what I thought it was gonna be. I thought we were about to see Rods 2.0.
No. If they had rods, then I'd tell you rods. But she's a wand carver, a wood carver. She's everyone knows her because she has like her own branding that she stamps into the hilt, or I guess whatever you call it, the handle of every grip she creates. She has this distinctive like curved letter B, like a very like fancy letter B stamped on the end of every wand that she's ever made. And as a result, a lot of the wizards at the academy have her signature on them whenever they're doing their spells, depending on what arcane focus they use.
I thank the merchant for the information. then relay all this back to the party.
Sure.
Oh boy.
Oh boy!
So you got a general idea of what it's like. I will say that I'm not going to make you go off on a tangent again. So if no one else has anything to do in the capital city at the moment, I could just time skip to actually Zazseny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why not?
Let's get there.
Sure. Cool.
King Crimson.
So you guys are traveling. You guys are traveling on the road for a few more days until and you know the landscape is very much similar to certain province in this area too. It's like, you know, relatively flat land, sometimes very like lush and like wetlands kind of. You don't have to worry about that much though, because there's a road obviously to Zazseny, and you don't have to worry about, you know, your horse getting stuck in a bog or anything. It's just kind of like that's the general vibe of the area. You do have to pass over a couple more.
Oh yeah, there was thing we would need to pay for because we're taking the cart. We would need more horses. Our horses got killed.
Yeah, that's true. If anyone wants to
Uh,
pony up for that,
How much?
ha 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 ha.
75 for a riding horse, if I remember correctly. Which should be like the cheapest horse is 75.
How much for a good horse for pulling a cart? Because I think a riding horse is not the greatest for pulling a cart, right?
That's just a general horse price is 75.
Okay. Yeah, fine, I'll pay it.
So, rewind back a week ago, flashback to where you're like, oh shit, we don't have horses. Hold on, let me go buy one. Fast forward back. Wow, I'm glad we got these horses, guys.
I think we needed 2.
You need 2 to pull the cart, so.
Sure.
I'll chip in for the second one.
Wait, no, you have horse patches.
I'm doing that for an emergency. Oh wait, where are you? Wait, where are you?
I mean, you've already used
Yeah.
it, you recall.
Oh right, we already have a
And
horse.
So we only need the one. We only need one.
This is what happens
Yeah.
when we take 2 weeks off.
Yeah.
Forget everything that happened. Never mind. You have horses.
Hold on, everybody. Let's pause. Let's pause the recording. Everyone go watch the recap.
Yes.
Well,
spend the next 4 hours.
no. We still needed one horse because we need 2 for the cart. The patch is only used for one of the things.
You had 2 of
So-
them, right? Didn't you have 2?
And we have 2 horses still.
Yeah.
Because the first patch it was given to me, I used it to come back to the town, and the second patch was used
Wait, there was
when
2
we were
patches
running
for
away.
that?
I think so.
Yes, we had 2. We just used 2. We still have 2 horses. The horses didn't get killed.
Okay, fair enough.
There's only 1 horse, but someone else's horse survived anyway, so you have at least 2 of them. It's the mastiffs. There were 2 mastiffs patches.
Yeah.
But the horse with saddlebags was just 1 patch on there. Anywho, you have the bottom line is you have ability to use a cart, which was pre-established for some reason that we're all recapping at the moment. Eventually, as you traveling through woods and fanes and all that fun stuff, you do have to cross a couple of the ginormous cracks that are in the world, crossing over some like stone bridges and stuff, until you finally arrive at the town of Zazseny. The town itself is almost, it looks like almost a small city. Like, you know, when you walk into like Harry Potter land or something, or like a theme park city, and you know, it's supposed to elicit like the feel of a big city, but it's not that big. You know, it's like maybe, you know, an acre or 2. It's like buildings here are they're very stylized, very, you know, like German style, like cottage housing, but like crammed together and very like geometrically spaced out, like very mathematical, very precise. The layout of the town itself evokes kind of like a wagon wheel type of thing, where all the major streets spread out from the central point in the city, and everything else is kind of laid out accordingly, in its own right. As you pass through the city gates, you take note of the fact that the city seems, like you heard, very, very clean. The streets are paved. There doesn't appear to be much in the way of like garbage or refuse. There aren't any, homeless, muddy children running through the streets. There aren't any homeless people hanging out in alleyways. Everybody's dressed at least in decent clothing. So people here seem to be very well off and happy about their lives, or yeah. As you're passing by, you notice that there are various statues in some of the squares, and all depicting the same guy, all depicting Hadrigan, essentially. Those of you who have seen him before, that have been erected either as like a memorial statue, or a like the top of a fountain, or just various iconography that is like modeled after him. And you can notice that the guards here, markedly enough, don't have the standard Onesian crest that you've seen on other guards, on their tabards and on their like iconography that they usually wear. This iconography is it's like black and gold tabards with like a gold ring on it, it's very, very simple, but it denotes that the town guard is not necessarily state sponsored.
Oh, I don't like that.
I like that.
I mean, that's what I wanted for our town too, but I don't like that in other towns.
It's only cool when we do it.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
It's only good when we do it because we're protecting our investment. If other people are doing it, they are up to something. That's my mind.
That's how perspective works, ladies and gentlemen.
That's how paranoia is.
There you go.
Excuse me, sir. It's not a paranoia when everybody is actually out to get you, sir.
Nobody is out to get
I don't know.
No.
Is it?
I really don't like this conversation.
Neither do I.
This.
That being said, you have no idea. You don't know anybody in this town but Hadrigan, and you don't know where he lives. So
I'm not going to be the one that's like, hey, you know that person that all of you seem to kind of like worship? We need to find that guy. I'm not going to be that guy.
All right.
I'm not gonna be that guy either.
Well, it's been working out so far for me. Also, it's Zazseny, right? Like, that's the name of this place?
yes.
Zazseny.
No. It was him being like, have I been saying it wrong this whole time?
Yes.
It's Zazseny.
Maybe.
It's very
Okay.
possible.
I'm back with a miss.
Everything.
Describe it to
Zazseny.
them. I don't know how long. When did you cut out?
Town was clean.
Okay. Two major important details that I brought up was that after that was that there's statues of Hadrigan in certain public spaces, and on top of that, the guard force doesn't wear the Onesian crest. They wear a different crest that is a golden ring on a black background. Very
The
simple.
Elden Ring.
The Elden Ring, yes. It's basically it's
franchise.
just a simple. It's very simple standard. Gold ring on black background, but it denotes that the guard force is private.
Okay.
Not necessarily Onesian. Sponsored.
Interesting.
Okay, so and we're still trying to find.
You don't know where Hadrigan is. You know that he lives here, clearly. But you didn't like email him ahead of time. Be like, hey yo, what's your address?
Do we have a way of contacting Hadrigan?
Technically, yes.
Looked at StarCal?
Yeah,
Technically.
You got the sending spell. It's one of you.
Got this.
Do we want to? We just message him and be like, hi, where are you? Like to talk to you.
I'll get out the same though. Hello, Hadrigan. This is Tavanta of the Scholars March. We met during the tournament. We came to see about the jobs you had offered.
I think that's literally one shy of 25 words.
We came to see about the job.
Yeah. It takes about a minute, but Hadrigan responds to you. Oh, excellent. If you're in town, my estate is at the northern end.
I will relay that to my dear friends. We'll say friends.
Appreciate it.
I'll relay that to the party.
So you guys. I'll just give it to you because one of you has high enough wisdom / survival to deal with it. You entered from the western side of town. So if you guys thinking about that, you're able to navigate to the north. Be like, oh yeah, that's where that is. So as you pass through the western end is where most people enter through, and that's where the market district is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just give you guys a couple of shops that you may or may not want to visit at some point. There is front and center. There's the Black Rose Inn and Tavern, which you can see is written on not only their sign, but on the carved into the main doorway. And it has stained glass windows in the front that depict the namesake of the tavern, just like a black rose. On a simple background, but it's very, very fancy. Like stained glass windows on a tavern, not super common. You do also see Berga's carvings at one point, with a basically her sign is like a stylized wooden carving of like a halfling holding a chisel and a hammer. That seems to be like carving out the sign itself. Like it's very cutesy. There is relatively close by that one, like across the street and up a block, is Shakar's Arsenal.
Oh.
And then a little bit further on than that, closer to the center of town, is Tim's Timepieces.
I feel concerned.
Why do you feel concerned this time?
I don't know why. That I just do. That's what's troubling. I can't pinpoint it.
Hey, I'm gonna run in. You guys mind if I run into the timepiece real quick? Get a watch.
Go ahead.
Cool.
I mean, nothing is stopping you. Go on.
Whoop, 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 whoop. I go into the shop.
Okay.
How much for?
Let me find out. I need to Google D&D Beyond. Let's find out. Fucking clock. Just want a grandfather clock.
Basically, just someone to keep time.
Carry that on your
You
wrist.
want to keep grandfather clock with you at all times?
How much is it? Oh, that's not gonna work. Wait a minute. I put 1 and 2 together.
Do you want a magic watch or a regular watch?
I'll take a. Which one's more mobile? Like, does it really matter?
I mean, the magic watch does stuff, but the
Sure.
the normal watch is like, just a normal watch.
Gotcha. How much for each? We'll just compare prices real quick and then I'll decide.
The magic one is 75 gold.
Mhm.
The regular one, I'll give to you for 20.
I'll just do the 20. I'll try to.
Sure. I mean, I'll do this as well. So you walk inside, and there is a very neat little shop with like several glass display cases where you can see very intricate pieces of very intricate like timepieces, like watches, pocket watches especially. You can see several clocks hanging from the wall, ticking away at their own pace, in various different styles, carvings, stains, colors, all that fun stuff. And at the counter, on a like an unfurled, essentially cloth placemat, there's an older human male with a comb over of white hair and very tiny rounded spectacles that sit on the front of his nose, who's been tinkering away at one particular timepiece. There's one other person in the shop with you. There is a half-elf female with short blonde hair who's perusing through the timepieces as well, just kind of walking back and forth between the aisles. And the older man notices you as you enter and says, "Hello there, how can I help you?"
Hi, good evening, sir. I'm just here to try and buy a watch if I could.
Excellent, I have many pieces. Feel free to peruse and let me know which one you'd like.
You have a beautiful shop, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I try to keep it up as best as I can. Those old bones are having trouble keeping up nowadays, you know?
Yeah. Thankfully, I don't have that issue yet. How long have you been here, then? Like...
some 50-odd years, 55, something like that. You know, for a timepiece seller, I don't keep track of time as well as I used to.
All right. Thank you. I'll let you know if I find anything.
Yeah, of course. Feel free to peruse my selection. If you're looking for anything special or magical in nature, I also have those options. They're not on display.
Head over into the aisle then. He's mostly looking for like a simple, brass watch or something like, nothing crazy.
Sure. The cheapest watch that he has is probably a very simple, not intricately designed silver pocket watch. Point that out to him and say, "Oh, that one. This is a popular one because it's not exactly the most expensive piece, but yeah, I'll get that for you." And reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small brass key, and you're wondering how the fuck he's gonna get in the lock with his shaky ass like Parkinson's hands. But
yeah, like a little.
He is a timepiece keeper, and as soon as he gets close to the lock, they steady out, and he's able to unlock it. And he hands you the timepiece and says, "This one's kind of an interesting piece. If you look," and he opens it for you, clicks it open. Not only does it have the standard timepiece thing, but in the top there, in the top section, the lid, you can set a folded painting or something of a loved one, if that's something that you're inclined to do. It doubles as a locket. It's one of the pieces that is very popular that I make. This one will run you about 20 gold pieces.
happily take it then. Thank you. I may be back later. Part of me is interested in your magic selection, but I want to basically talk with my party before I continue with that.
Of course, no need to hurry. I'm not going anywhere.
Come back to me, died of old age.
Yeah, he's just
Yeah,
collapsing
right,
around, clutching his chest.
I was gonna say that's a death flag. Oh boy.
Who are you? Father, I see the light.
It's been so long.
I'm sorry. For some reason, I was thinking about Resident Evil 5's merchant.
Yeah, what do you buy?
I mean, when you mentioned the
What
shaking
are you
hands and
buying?
spinning out,
Oh, wait, that's
I
4.
thought of the old man from Toy Story 2.
yeah, it is kind of like that. Yeah, but he's not completely bald on top. He has a comb over. So just imagine that guy with a comb over, and you pretty much got it.
Wait, is that old guy from Toy Story 2 the same old guy who plays chess on himself in the Pixar shorts?
Yes.
Holy shit! I don't know why that's so big to me.
Same dude. Because we're like, well, we already have the model. We might as well use it. Yeah, you pick yourself up a watch real quick. And it doesn't take you more than maybe 5 minutes.
Cool. And I want to ask him more questions about the area, but I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Is there like anything y'all would recommend? I guess like any more information we want about this place because he's been here a while.
I mean, we got a lot of what you need, really. We just need to fucking,
Cute. And with that, I will head the fuck out.
Cool. All right. Any of the other shops anyone wants to go to?
I need to conserve my money. I'm
Same.
trying not to pay attention when you describe shops and shit because I'm like, your attunement slots are already full and you already bought some cool shit.
how much were we able to get back from our campsite? Like, how much? Were we able to gather up our shit?
Yeah.
It wasn't.
Nothing was taken. It's just your tents and bedrolls were destroyed.
So Moyle has his shield and half plate back. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I'm surprised that you didn't ask to look for a toy shop.
Never mind. We're not gonna get into that.
Cool. So, if no one
not
has
sure
anything
where
else
I
to
would.
do, oh, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
There is something I do want, but I'm not sure where I will be able to find it.
Anything else to that question, or you could ask anybody?
No, actually, I'm actually probably gonna end up going to the clock shop, the watch shop, like he did.
Okay. Do you want to do that now, or do you want to do that after you talk to Hadrigan?
It wouldn't be very polite to keep the man waiting.
Wait, he does? I thought he didn't know we were coming.
No, you
We
said
mean-
you've announced your
We
presence.
literally sent him a magic text saying, "Hey, yo, we're pulling
Ding,
up."
ding, ding! I'm here. Let's go. What's up?
Get in, bitch. We're going shopping.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, I'll go afterward.
All right. Cool. So, waylaying the market district for now. Traveling along the main road to the center of the city, you can see the main town square, which has a fountain at the center of it. Doesn't depict Hadrigan, this fountain. It's just a fountain. And you can see that several people are like taking the water from the fountain, like in buckets, and bringing it back to their homes. So that looks like this also doubles as a public well. And there is a signpost nearby that will direct you to different parts of the city. Obviously, the part that you just came from was Market Road. The one that you're going to is the Crown District. There's also another another sign pointing to the Zazseny courthouse. And then there is the Park District is the furthest east part of the city. In case anyone wants to write that down.
I feel like that's a wink, wink, nudge, nudge moment.
Turning your
Take notes, you bastards.
I look at Chance.
What was his statement? No, like a Jim, I didn't hear the thing. Sound cut out my end.
I don't know. There was some kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge there, but I didn't even catch it. So it's probably nothing to worry about, I'm sure.
This fucking guy.
Turning your direction to the north, to the Crown District, you begin riding up the street that leads that way, toward the northernmost spoke of the wagon wheel that is this city's layout. And as you continue to travel up that street, you notice that the houses get more and more spaced out. Some of them even have like lawns, like fenced in, like lawns and gardens, until you come to the end of that road, which takes a slight bend. And as you go around that bend, you can see a fairly large estate, like manor estate, walled with stone and iron fencing, and a very large, ornate gate at the front, guarded by two of the guards that you'd seen wandering around town and doing their patrols earlier. They hold up their hands to stop the cart and say, "All right, state your business."
We have oh no, you go.
We're here to see Lord Hadrigan. Have business with him.
And what is the name of your party?
Scholars March.
Very well. The master has been expecting you. Head on through. They swing the gate open on each side, and the gates, swing inside, and lead up to the manor house. The manor house itself is up a short paved driveway, flanked by hedge maze on either side. And
Also, have I been talking for the group too much?
You're good.
You're good.
Monte was trying to say something there. I was like,
he gave up the floor, so it was fine. Flanked by a hedge mage on either side, and further up the road, you can see as the manor house comes into view. The whole building is built out of stone. Architecture-wise, it's very Gothic. You can see that there are like 3 or 4 different gargoyles hanging out on the edges of the corners of the building, over the entryway, etc., etc. Going up to the front door, you can see above you rows and rows of shuttered windows, and then in front of you, of course, a giant oaken wooden door with big iron knockers on it, in the shape of also in the shape of like gargoyles, like clutching the ring, like very, very much like Wayne Manor-esque. I'm assuming one of you goes up and hits the knocker a couple of times, and the doors swing open to reveal a probably like a mid-40s human male, getting a little bit older, but like basically like midlife human male, with a kind of like a Van Dyke goatee going on, and very elegantly coiffed hair, wearing butler's attire. He says, "Yes, the master has been expecting you. Follow me up to the study." And he turns and allows you to enter the home. The front foyer is tiled with black and white tiles, and there's a one singular major staircase directly in the front that leads upstairs, carpeted in in like red carpet, and then the wood itself very expensively carved. You can tell. At the top of the stairs, on the wall, is hung a portrait of Hadrigan himself in what looks to be some kind of military attire. And then, obviously various other paintings throughout depicting landscapes or battlefields or, just like oil paintings circa 1776 kind of. You're led upstairs into one of the rooms, which appears to be a study. The butler opens the door and enters and says, "The Scholars' March, sire." And you can see in there, sitting amidst a collection of paperwork at a desk, surrounded by bookshelves, is Lord Hadrigan.
Could you describe Hadrigan again?
Yeah, I think his picture's in the characters chat, but I can describe him. He's looks to be in like his early to mid 30s. Human male, long, dark black or brown hair down to about his shoulders, with like a chin beard with a point at the end of it. Very harsh eyebrows.
I'll post it.
Yeah, he's in here somewhere. He's up there. If you scroll up past the...
Is this correct? I just think I just posted him.
Yeah, that's him. He's in
look at me.
If you want to take a look at his face. Currently dressed in fine noble's clothing. He sees you guys enter and says, "Ah, friends, welcome. To what do I owe the pleasure?"
Well, if I recall correctly, you said you might have some work for us, and we are currently in between situations.
Well, it was very short notice. I was expecting a letter in the mail, if you were actually interested in my offer. But I suppose you do actually come at a fortuitous time. Come, sit down. I will have my butler fetch us some refreshments. Thorold, some tea for the guests, please.
Chant is remembering, oh yeah, I forgot to send him a letter.
Yeah, by the way, you guys were like, "Yo, I'm rolling up. I'm in town. What we doing?"
Hey, what's the move?
I think I had an excuse. We were going over there to kind of scout out the place a bit, but then all the shit happened, so I guess we were a bit frazzled.
I'm gay.
Yeah.
I'm new in town. All right.
That was John Mulaney. I got you. I got that reference.
I didn't know the reference. I just thought you exclaimed that.
Yeah, he was talking about like walking around the streets of New York, and then this random dude just walks up to him and goes, "I'm gay. I'm new in town," and then he says some third thing that I never can remember, but it's just always stuck with me. Like that's the second thing that he puts up is like, 1, I'm gay. 2, I'm new in town. Like that's supposed to mean something. Anyway, tangent aside.
It's I'm homeless, I'm gay, I'm new in town, or something like that.
I'm homeless, I'm gay, I'm new in town. Funny guy. Anyway, Hadrigan is neither of those things. Well, despite the short notice, I actually do have something that you can help me out with. Although before we get started, I wish to ask a couple of questions of you. We have not kept in touch since the gala. I'm wondering how you find your new position, Lord Chance.
For a split second, you might almost think that Chance is about to glare at Strovan, but he stops himself like right before.
Strovan is just whistling in the corner.
It's pleasant enough. It's nice and quiet. I've done some work to hopefully bring some more life to the town.
Yes,
I'll just have to wait on that one.
I've heard about the town's expansion. It's very exciting. Are you finding it more or less difficult than you expected? Obviously, for men in our position, it's a daunting task to take on the responsibility of an entire town.
It's well, I would be telling a lie if I said I've lost sleep over it. It has been work, yes.
Well, something to keep you busy at least. I've also heard about your exploits. Very impressive, by the way, from our mutual acquaintance, Connia, I believe her name was.
Oh yes. What she's doing? I suppose I can take it to mean she's doing all right herself.
Oh, she's been most helpful in my own endeavors. Which I'm actually hoping you can help me out with as well. I have been... let me give you a bit of a backstory, shall I? I originally made my fortune as a collector of rare and important items. In fact, I have a few of them here. And he gestures to the side of the room where you can see there are...
I'm just picturing Chance's mind. You just hear, well, first you had my interest. Now you have my attention.
Yeah.
Or whatever that line was.
Yeah.
You had my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
On the side of the room, on the wall, you can see that there are several displays, for lack of a better term, where there are different items or different items, artifacts, different types of things. There's like a sword on the wall, big two-handed claymore that takes up a majority of the space on the wall there. You can see that there's a very interesting urn of some kind with a lid that is roughly shaped like a cat. You can see in a glass case several broken pieces of what appears to be a cane of some kind or a small rod. Just like various odds and ends that don't necessarily all go together, just like looks like a collection on display.
Given Chance's expertise and antiquities, can he glean any more than what's at face value here?
Do they appear to be any more than what's at face value? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, basically, because Chances have somewhat of an expertise in antiquity.
I'd say at a passing glance, without even needing to roll, you can tell that they are very old. At least a couple of the pieces are. The sword is remarkably clean if it's a relic, so that leads to you thinking it might be slightly magical in some way.
Oh, this is quite the collection you have here.
Wait till you see the other rooms. But that all aside, I have spent my early years collecting and trading in such relics and ruminations, such that I built my fortune and was able to establish myself as the keeper and Lord Regent of this town. And though my usual duties keep me busy at many times, I am still very much interested in the world of the past and digging up the ancient relics therein. Of course, I can't go myself quite as often as I used to, but I do employ in my service several independent parties to do it for me when I find something interesting. And I have found something recently that has denoted that a very interesting artifact exists in a place that may or may not be extremely dangerous. Obviously, I've been looking for capable adventurers for some time to take on this task, but none have quite stood out as much as your Scholar's March has, if I may be so bold.
It wouldn't be worth as much if it wasn't dangerous, would it?
Of course not. Wouldn't be worth getting otherwise.
You said you have been. Do you have perhaps any historical documents you might have found on your travels or through your collections?
Oh, plenty. I've taken rubbings and copies. Sometimes I've removed whole writings in slabs from the walls of tombs themselves. Most of those are displayed in the museum.
Oh, there's a museum here.
Yes.
But I bet a man like man of your stature, I bet he had kept certain favorites to himself.
Oh yes, of course.
I will. Something I will ask of you: if this artifact, do you have any information pertaining to it?
I'm sure he was getting to him, no?
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Yes. Well,
No, apologies, jumping the gun.
I don't know exactly what it is. I just know that it at some point existed in a small underdark settlement, which was excavated, which in their formation excavated what appears to be a small ruin. Nothing insane or anything like that. It was mostly catalogued as just a small village whose old bones had managed to survive underground. And there was a settlement there that had set up, and some interesting relics were found. But unfortunately, it seems that village is very closed off. They don't talk to others, communicate with the outside world. In my inquiries, I have found very little information about them, other than where they're located in the Underdark. So, I have this task for you, which I have also given to two of my associates, very close friends of mine. If you are to join them on this, then they would meet you along the way, and you would travel together to this town, hopefully to retrieve the item itself without much trouble.
These associates?
What?
Who are these associates?
The associates of mine are long-time adventuring friends from my younger days. They are called Volk and Thrakar.
Volk and Thrakar.
Which I will type in chat so you can spell them correctly.
Thank you!
Volk and Thrakar. They've worked for me for many years, along the same circles, and have been instrumental in growing my collection and my fortune as a result. They will be the leads on this mission, if you will. Not that I don't trust in your capabilities, clearly you've proven that, but they are no slouches either. Old friends.
Friends have you?
Old
adventuring buddies.
archaeological explorers, let's say.
Okay.
So,
But frankly, sir, you have very much piqued my interest, given my own. I do style myself as a bit of an antiquarian myself, studying ancient cultures.
really? Well then.
I hate to be, that person, but what kind of overhead we looking at here?
Oh, of course, the matter of your payment. Well, I have left with Volk and with Rakar a line of coin should they need to ever purchase a artifact such as the one I'm looking for. So you needn't worry about your purse in terms of persuading the locals to give it up. As for your compensation, I'm willing to offer 200 platinum pieces, plus an additional bonus if you manage to find any other artifacts down there, of course, depending on rarity and level of intactness. On top of this, in order to prepare yourselves for this event, I can offer you these. And he reaches down next to him and opens a drawer in his desk and pulls out a small polished wooden box, about the size of a cigar box. And he spins it around on his desk and opens it, and on there you can see, or inside you can see a collection of pins, like brooches or pins. It's an iron circle with like braided iron circle, with a line through the center. These will afford you certain privileges while you're in Zazseny. The merchants here know my name, and they know what this pin means. You'll be treated very well. Of course, if you aren't, please let me know.
And these are just for going on this, or is another pot? Or is another reward? Sweeten the pot.
Well, like I said, 200 platinum on completion.
Right.
We'll start small, shall we?
Out of character, I'm asking if he's giving us the badges now or afterwards.
No, he's offering the badges to you now.
Yeah, they're basically so we have something to. It's basically we basically are getting discounts in order to get some equipment.
Yeah.
We just went on a shopping trip, guys. Come on.
Let's go.
Get in, loser. We're going shopping.
Let's go!
It pays to be
New town. You got to buy toys for your kids.
Yeah, it pays to have friends in high
What?
places.
Every town we go to, you have to buy toys for the kids.
I didn't say that.
You should though. You're a good dad.
Right?
Does being a good father entail just constantly buying your kid gifts? Kind of as a sign that like maybe there's not a lot of love in the fucking.
Like,
you know what
love,
I mean?
What love would they have for you if it's not purchased?
Right.
Well, I was gonna say it was the fact that souvenirs. You're gonna be gone for so long. Like with families that have family members that travel a lot, souvenirs tend to be a common thing.
Sure.
I don't know. I'm not a dad in real life. What the fuck? Give me some credit, bitches. Are any of you fathers in real
not
life?
dad?
No.
My dad spends all his money on alcohol, so.
Immortalized for all time. All right. So, yes, these pins will do that for you.
Thank you very much. I think, well, at least for me, I don't want to speak for the rest of the party, but I'm definitely in, so.
Yeah, definitely.
Excellent. So, feel free to take these. Make sure that they're pinned on you if you want to reap their benefits. And do give my regards to Ander Flynn for me. He runs the Black Rose Inn and Tavern. In my opinion, the best one in town. You're welcome to stay there as long as you like.
Absolutely lovely. Thank you very much, Hadrigan.
Thank you.
Of course. Should you need anything else, please don't hesitate to ask.
All right. Well, we should go prepare what we can. And where should we meet Wilk and Thakar?
Yes, that would be pertinent information for you, wouldn't it? I shall give you directions here. He opens his desk and unfurls a map of generally the general world. Very like a small 8.5 by 11, just hand drawn thing. It says we're here in Zazseny. The closest entrance to the Underdark is in Onyx, back the way you came, I assume. Enter through there and make your way to the capital city. There, Thakar and Volk will meet you. And you can depart henceforth.
Fucking lovely.
I do have a question of why they still call it the Underdark. I mean, I heard that certain part of the under the Earth is actually more brighter because they're exposed to the core of the planet.
Yes, that is true. Those parts are also the most dangerous.
Well, we do live in a
I
world
mean, I
that's...
guess it's a matter of tradition, just it's always been called that,
Yeah, very much.
Monsieur,
Yeah.
make me a history check.
Oh no.
Why do you say it why do you say things like that?
Just to make you worried.
I got a 10. Was it an easy check?
Yeah. I mean, this is common knowledge among the Underdark, but I wanted to see how much of it you can get. You know the reason why most of the settlements in the Underdark, number one, are few and far between, and number two, are close to the capital, is because they're easily defended. There are creatures that dwell in the Underdark, especially in the deepest parts closer to the core, that prevent settlement to a degree in many parts of the Underdark that exist.
Because of the infestation down there, there's not many habitable places.
Yeah, they don't generally. They have a radius that they occupy, or like a territory that they occupy that doesn't intersect with cities that are closer to the Underdark capital itself. But the further out villages have tried to settle, the worse off it is for them. To the point where some villages have just gone and disappeared.
Ah.
That's not good.
Well then.
Yeah.
That's ominous as fuck.
Yeah.
Indeed.
We have directions to meet up with our contacts, and we have pins that are supposed to give us discounts on gearing up.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
Sounds good to me.
Be on our way. Thank you for the tea, Hadrigan.
Of course.
Although, if I may talk to you in private very briefly, just a quick question.
I will.
I believe that's
I
up
guess,
to your
yeah.
I was kind of asking that to my party, just I may speak to Hadrigan privately for just a moment.
Before that, actually, I was hoping to talk with you all privately real quick. Then ask question to Sir Hadrigan. It won't take long, I promise you, sir.
Fair enough. I guess we'll meet privately and then we'll come back.
Let's do this.
I'm gonna just once we get clear. Once we like leave, most of us are leaving. I'm heading straight for the museum.
Wait. No, I need to talk to everybody. That's the.
Oh.
So I know that 200 platinum is a lot, but if he said he had some historical documents, that might be more beneficial for us in the long term. So.
He said most of the historical documents are in the museum, and you don't
And
just
he
ask for someone,
also
right?
said that he has kept some for himself.
Well,
Yeah,
there's
but
also the
either
fact that, despite my professional curiosity on what those documents might hold, there's only so much you can reasonably ask for before it becomes unreasonable.
well, yeah, it
I
is
was
his
just
personal collection, so you can't just be like, those things that spent a long time trying to get a hold of. Yeah, can we have those things as payment? Maybe once we do
I
this job
was
for him,
suggesting no such thing, sir. I just meant
It
if he's
sounded like you very much were.
No, sir. I just meant if we could, instead of the 200 platinum, maybe we have a time to peruse his historical document section, sir, so we could
like
learn.
I was,
We don't have to actually take anything, sir.
I
like
mean,
I
do you
was
guys?
saying is maybe we can have our cake and eat it too. If we can get the 200 platinum, and if he trusts us, after this job, we can be like, hey, is it okay if we look over, under supervision, of course, we can look over some of your personal effects, and just antiquitas curiosity, your chance, and we can just look it over ourselves. If we're more friendly with Hadrigan, we don't need to ask it as payment. We still need, we still have other goals that involve needing coin, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Very good, sir.
I agree with you. It'd be very, it piques my interest as well to learn a bit more about what he knows. But I say we do that more as favor from somebody you did work for. Would be easier.
Out of character, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't think that would be coming from Savata.
What does that mean?
It just you took me by surprise. That's all I'm saying.
What part surprised you? I'm insulted, confused. I don't know. Anyways, continue.
Very well, sir. I
So
shall
yeah,
abide by the group's decision at this time.
but yeah, if that's all good and dandy, then I will go back in privately to talk with Hadrigan.
Okay.
Hello, Hadrigan.
Hello again.
Hello. I was actually wondering, since you're pretty rooted in the city, have you ever heard of the Church of the Chantry? Have they popped up anywhere in the city?
In this city?
Yes.
No. No, their chapters
No.
and missionaries rarely expand beyond the borders of my brother's own province. Or not my brother. I'm sorry. I was completely confused with someone else's shit. Of
Yeah.
our sister province, Cernan province. The fuck does that
So
mean?
they're mainly in northeastern Cernan.
Yes, as far as I know,
Yeah.
that's where they generally propagate their religion from.
Do you have any extra information on them? Anything?
Only as much as the next person. They follow, obviously, the core of the planet. Apparently, to them, it's some sort of god, and there's reasonable claim that it is, given that many of them seem to have derived a form of divine magic from it. Though they could be putting on a front for all we know. They have a prophet that they follow. I don't recall his name at this time, but he's a very important figure to them, like a high vicar or pope or something. Someone who dictates to them the will of their god.
Understood. Thank you very much. Sorry for taking up more of your time.
No problem.
And I will leave.
Cool.
I want to see the fucking museum now.
Sure.
I want.
Does anyone else have anything they want to do?
I want to go buy. Oh,
I want to go buy things.
I want to buy one thing.
Since this is a bigger city, I want to look for a few items as well. Then after that, I want to join back up at the museum because I'm curious about that place as well.
I'm headed to the museum with Chance.
I want to go buy a 50 gold diamond.
I'm gonna.
Why do you want to buy a 50 gold diamond?
He wants chromatic orb.
Yes.
Ah.
And I'm gonna join the party at the museum.
After that, I joined the party museum.
Nerds!
You're right. We all are nerds.
It's kind of a prerequisite to, being in the party called the Scholars March.
That's why it's funny. Anyway, I'm looking for this could be either at the blacksmith or the general shop. Or the magic store. I'm gonna check the magic store.
Or the baker,
first.
or the candlestick maker.
Hey, you promised not to talk about that.
Okay.
Maniacal.
So, how do I do this? Okay, so at least two of you are going to the market district, right?
Mhm.
In terms of trying to find what you're looking for, the diamond isn't too hard to find. You can purchase that from a local jewelry shop. However, as you're searching, there's not a magic item shop in town, as far as you're aware.
I'm sorry, what?
Not every place has a fucking magic item shop.
I call shenanigans. Shenanigans?
BG, when I that's it, BG. When I have to leave, I'll come back. I'll set up a magic shop in this town. I'll make bank.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'll check the blacksmith, I guess.
Sure. What are you looking for?
Illusionist bracers.
Illusionist bracers?
Oh,
I don't know what those are. First of all. Second.
very rare item.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Hey, I could always fucking hope.
I don't know that that's even gonna be a thing.
I put it in the general.
I got it. Guys came through a second time. Interesting. Unfortunately, you're not going to get it from this guy. So this shop, the blacksmith in town is Shikar's arsenal. Upon opening the building to the door to the shop, you can see that there's a forge in the back and obviously being in an indoor forge is very, very hot, so it's very stiflingly hot in this place. You can see that there is currently a shirtless black furred tabaxi who's pounding away at a sword on the anvil. You inquire about
if only
the
Matt
item
was
that
here,
you're
I could make
looking
a
for.
cat dad joke.
You inquire about the item that you're looking for, but unfortunately, he specializes in weapons crafting and not enchanting.
I ask him by any chance if you know anybody who might have this item in this town.
He's not one to know. Beyond his knowledge, he doesn't typically deal in magic items. He's more often than not, he provides for the what he calls the Sons of Zazseny, which is the local guard force.
Sons of Zazseny.
Okay, then I'm gonna go to my second store. I want to visit the Clockwork.
Sure. Enter
How
an
do you
old
spell
Tim's
some-
timepieces.
How do you spell Zazseny again? No, it's over here. Never mind.
It's on the map. You look on the map.
Slightly covered
on
by
both.
the party location.
Thank
It's
you.
on the map.
So yeah, I can enter Tim's timepieces one more time. He says, "Oh, hello there."
I'm looking for that.
I'm looking for that. You point to the thing. It's like, well, that's over there in the case. You want to look at it? No, I'm just kidding. Are you looking for a clockwork amulet? I have one or two in stock. Give me a second.
Oh, I know that I know that item.
Oh yes,
Oh.
Skylar had one.
My every archer I've ever had has one of those. Just nasty little piece of work, that amulet.
What? No.
If you have a very high hit, like a +10 or something, and you like with that, it's just like a automatic 20 to hit. It's nasty little thing.
Indeed.
I do have such an item in stock. Let me grab it for you. He totters off to the back and comes back a minute later with
I assume he's wearing one of the pins, so you'll get discounted, hopefully. Probably.
I would assume so. He brings out a very, very intricately carved watch on a chain, or a clock face rather on a chain, and places it on the counter and says, "This is not something that I sell every day, but for friends of Hadrigan, of course, there's a discounted rate. I can grant it to you for 60 gold as a price point."
I'm sorry. Did you say 60 gold?
Yes, that is the agreed upon amount for friends of Hadrigan.
That's pretty fucking good for that item.
It's a
Yeah.
common item.
It's a what?
It's a common item.
And this
Yeah.
place, and this is a place where magic items are rarer.
Also, that item in other games, I've gotten for like 200, 100, 300 gold. This is 60. This is a fucking steal.
Really
Yeah,
is.
the item is super solid, so I think that the 60 gold price point is actually very much.
You take that and you don't look back and you laugh because that is an absolute fucking steal.
It hits above its weight class. It doesn't require attunement.
Yeah,
Normally
how
I
many-
would sell this to you for like 100.
How many do you have of this amulet?
Just the one at the moment. Like I said, it doesn't sell very well. Not many people have that amount of coin on them to just randomly purchase this.
I slide the 60 gold over.
Fantastic, and thank you for doing business in Tim's timepieces.
Then
Oh fuck, guys! I'll be right. I'll be back as soon as I can. I'll be back.
Yep.
I hold out a 2 gold piece in front of him. I hold it with my fingers. Like, I was hoping you might be persuaded to give me a direction of sort or recommendation for a place.
Well, certainly, I'd love to help you if I can.
I've been told by some blacksmiths of the town that the magic items are not very common around Zazseny.
No, we don't have a dealer of magic items in town as far as I'm aware.
So you wouldn't happen to know anybody that might be selling spell books or spells?
Other than the college to the north, I'm afraid I can't exactly help you. At least not in this area. Have you been to Zatmorvis province at all recently?
Yes, recently. Very recently, actually.
As in today, or?
2 travel time was technically it was 3 weeks, wasn't it? Back and forth, right?
From where?
The magical college.
3 weeks from the college to here?
No, I mean we went from the college to Onik back and forth.
Oh,
Then we came down here.
I see.
So that's been what?
The capital city is kind of its own thing. It's not ruled over by Zatmorvis, it rules over Zatmorvis. When he's asking you if you've been to Zatmorvis province recently, he's talking about have you been anywhere other than here? Because you're asking questions to him that are like, why would you be asking these? Of course not.
No, I just find it hard to believe there's. This actually calls for a business opportunity. If I were to ever set up shop here, since he didn't give me any information I could use, but he did try to help, so I'll give him 5 silver pieces instead.
Did you say that part about starting a business out loud?
Yes.
Okay. He says, well, good luck to you, honestly. It's hard to get permits for a business like that in Zatmorvis province.
Oh, why is that?
Well, the sale and trade of magical items and especially spell books and scrolls is highly regulated by the prince.
And so the answer reveals itself.
We have to go to the black market, guys.
Yes, the underground.
You want the good shit, man? You have to go to the underground market, man.
Oh yes, there's so many.
That was out of character.
So much paperwork that needs to be filled out in order to even get the chance to purchase a building for such a purpose. But it's all for the good of the realm as far as we common folk know. He says that with like a lilt of disdain in his voice, like, come on, man, you fucking asshole.
I shudder at the thought. It's like, the thought of magic being restricted and regulated such, that is a horror. And with that, I leave and go to join everybody at the fucking museum.
Cool. All right. Meanwhile, at the museum, the museum is located in the Crown District. It's actually not too far from Hadrigan's house itself. So it doesn't take you too long to walk there. when you arrive, it's there's a big sign out front that says Zazseny Historical Museum. There is an entry fee of 5 silver pieces that you'll each have to pay.
Boo! I mean, 5 gold pieces paid.
Silver pieces?
Is it silver pieces?
Yeah. You're not gonna charge 5 gold to enter the museum.
That's why I said boo. I was like, bro, what?
No.
5 silver to enter?
5 silver to enter.
Yeah.
Entry fee.
Gotcha. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick.
It pays for the upkeep of the museum there. Would you guys be liking a guided tour of the artifacts, or are you fine just perusing on your own?
Oh God, no.
I'm doing it.
I will give pay the. Is it 5 silver for all of us, or is it 5 silver for
5 silver
person?
apiece per person.
I will point my thumb at Moyle. He's how do I word this? I'm trying to think.
He's not a person.
Yeah, I know, but that's not something Chance would say.
I know. That'd just be funny if you were just like, oh yeah, he doesn't exist.
I'll just fucking, instead of the 5 silver, I'll just give gold for both him and Moyle.
Sure. I'm sorry. You can't help but noticing that your little friend there is some sort of summoned magical construct or being. Unfortunately, he's not allowed inside the grounds of the museum.
I assume that's from security policy to prevent thefts or of the such.
Oh yeah, no, we've had people try and pop familiars inside the cases to grab some of the artifacts and disappear with them. Yeah, that doesn't exactly work out well for them. So we're just gonna have to ask you to either have him wait outside or desummon him so that we can ensure the safety and of the collection there.
I'm gonna look at the museum. Does it look like? I assume like there's no way I'll cross the 1,000-foot threshold.
No, you'll be fine.
No way in hell. Okay.
Yeah, he won't like unsummon himself, but you're gonna have him go down to half at some point.
Yeah, but I figured we're gonna go sleep for the night, so I guess
Huh.
I hope the healers won't mind patching it back up. The fact that he doesn't heal normally, or I have no way of healing him, is just such a pain.
Look, he's very powerful.
I don't get a way to heal. I don't think I get a way to heal him to like level 10.
No, probably not. Sounds about right. No, if you wanted to be able to heal him on your own, you'd need to get the celestial alignment.
No. I think at level 10, I get an ability to let him use my hit dice to heal him.
Yeah, that. But if you wanted to do that before then, the celestial persuasion would be the one to go with. So Moyle waits outside.
I guess that one goal like cover one extra person, so one of you doesn't have to pay.
Certainly. And I don't think I got an answer on the guided tour. Do you guys want to do that, or do you just want to peruse at your leisure?
We'll take the guided tour.
All right, perfect. I'll have my associate help you out with that. Hey Dan, we got some guests here who are doing the guided tour. And from around the corner of this desk, there's a little footfalls. The door opens, and a small dwarf man steps around. Short, short, like neatly trimmed beard. Appears to be a younger dwarf. He says, "Well, you come to the right place. Here, let's come on and follow me. We'll start on the south end and work our way around here."
Okay.
So he begins the guided tour. He takes you. Basically, the museum itself it's not a huge building. It's not necessarily a massive collection on display here. It's basically one large room with different like sections to it, where certain items and relics are displayed. He initially leads you over to one end of the building along the wall, where displayed and behind glass there is what appears to be a robe of some kind, colored red with gold filigree. He says, "This here was the robe of a cultist leader from way back in the Dead Century." And then he goes on to explain, like, the Dead Century thing, like it took over 100 years once the gods sacrificed themselves to save the planet for magic to come back. But in the meantime, people searched out magical power from beings outside of this plane of existence.
This is about. I think it's about the same stuff that Professor Grouse had told Chance, but Chance is still just jotting this down for us.
Yeah,
This is right. It's not just her blowing smoke on my ass.
Yeah, pretty much. He's just like, this was a robe worn by one of the cultists and obtained by Lord Hadrigan after convincing the owner to part with it for a hefty sum. This apparently belonged to a great ancestor of theirs, and they had kept it mothballed since then. Since they weren't using it, they were happy to give it up. This particular robe was part of a cult that worshipped a demon lord of some kind. We're not entirely sure which one it was, because there were a lot of cults at that point in time that needed that necessarily like worship many different kinds of dark beings. So we're not entirely sure if this was a very specific form of ritual service they gave this demon, but certainly it is an interesting piece nonetheless. Right over here, you can see the weapons that the cultists used on display. Note the underdark style Damascus metal used in the craftsmanship, the wicked curved blade, and he just kind of goes on like that for a couple minutes.
On the Demon Lord, like what iconography is on the cult of that one?
That's a good question. Let's see if I can pull something out of my ass real quick. This one, and over here, and down here. This one would be. It's red with golden filigree. The iconography in terms of like symbolism has something to do with like flying snakes. Like you can see along the threading on the arms, like the golden portions of it appear to be a snake, and then at the cuffs you can just kind of make out a serpent's head, and along like where the top of your hand is, the back of your hand would be, and then further back down about halfway along the forearm, there's a pair of wings on display. And that's about the only iconography you can kind of get from it. Other than that, it's fairly simple.
And that's not even really familiar to anything I've seen.
Roll a history check. What do you get to roll your proficiency dice on? Your background dice.
By the way, that's not me. It just rolled it twice like that. I have it set to normal. I don't have it set to auto roll advantage. That's a roll 20 fuck up, not me.
I don't know what that is. Just I don't know. Roll it again. But what do you also you might get to roll your history thing on this. Your profession dice.
Where's my fucking? Where the? There's my background, insightful discovery, which doesn't apply here. There's diligent researcher, which I don't know that applies because I'm not actively researching. I'm trying to see if I recall something I have researched.
It depends on how long you want to stay in the museum, but you could do insightful discovery. If you could do insightful discovery on pretty much anything in here.
Oh, so I will roll again, but can I ask if it does the double thing again? Can we keep the first roll?
Yeah, we'll just keep the first one if it does it again.
Yep.
I don't know why that's happening. That's weird.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know either. Oh, let me try something real quick. That did it. Okay. For some reason, despite being set on normal, for some reason the toggle thought it was advantage. So I just clicked it over to advantage and clicked it back to normal, and that seemed to fix it. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Sometimes it just needs a little push. So I'll let you do this if you want to for anything in here. If you spend an hour just kind of perusing and really taking note of what an item is, then I'll give you your proficiency die on rolls that you make for history checks while you're in the museum, or not your whatever it is, the background die, the D4.
Yeah, I mean I'm taking my time.
Yeah, we'll stay with that 19 for now because that's fine. Yeah. This one is the iconography is very similar to Yuan Ti iconography. So likely that this cultist was a worshipper of Seth.
Seems this was a worshipper of Chance actually uses it aloud, looking at the serpents. Seems this was a worshipper of Seth. Yuan Ti.
I'm still shopping.
You're out shopping. Next section over this way. This is a section filled with artifacts that were taken when Onyx first colonized Netria, our sister country to the north, obviously before the revolution happened. And they gained independence as a sovereign nation. Now over here, we have relics taken from an abandoned castle of a storm giant king. That's why some of these are fairly large pieces, you can understand. And you can see, like, displayed on the wall, there's a massive, like, iron fork and spoon. easily like 15, like not 15 feet, but like easily like 5 feet tall, like really, really tall, like almost as tall as a human would normally be. You can also see here's a collection here of some of this is a rake, the head of a rake that was managed to be salvaged by Lord Hadrigan here. And unfortunately wasn't able to take the shaft of it because it just wouldn't fit in this building otherwise. But he was managed to grab the head of the rake and keep it here. And it's a massive, like, pronged rake head with like what looks to be like a tree trunk stuck and broken off inside of it. That is hung from the ceiling by ropes. Over here we have a collection of various tableware and napkins from the giant's kitchen. Unfortunately, most of the castle had been destroyed entirely by just time and weathering. But the kitchen, it seemed, was at least partially accessible, and in excavating it, Lord Hadrigan did manage to find some items. Displayed on the wall, much like a tapestry would be, is what appears to be like a cloth napkin with giant runes embroidered in one corner. Do any of you speak giant?
No.
BRB since I'm not in the scene.
Sure.
No.
All right. Don't know what that means. And coming on our final section over here, if you join me on this side of everything, you can see our collection of artifacts from Araval. These are relatively new additions to the collection, and this is our highest our most active section, where we tend to display certain newer discoveries that have been found by adventurers sponsored by Lord Hadrigan. Over here you can see these are several collections of artifacts from the Ashen Expanse in Araval. These were purchased or taken from merchants there. Merchants, or sometimes, I think a couple of these are from Burial Tomb. But these are relics of the catfolk people who live in the Ashen Expanse. You can see similar looking urns to the ones that you saw in Hadrigan's office itself, that have all been displayed on a shelf and laid out behind a case of glass. All of them have the cat head iconography lid on the urns. And these very urns contain the remains of entombed dead lords or nobles. The catfolk there think that by removing the innards from the dead, that they'll have a chance to use them again in life. That way it's also easier for them to clean and embalm the body. Over here we have a collection of various weaponry that we've gathered over time. These ones are examples of the weaponry. They're not the actual weaponry, but this is, as far as we know, as far as what we've been able to determine, this is, generally speaking, hasn't changed much over the years. And you can see displayed in not only on the wall, but on like the glass cases in this section. There are various swords, spears, hatchets, like different weapons of war. All of them made from some type of obsidian or like dark metal, and all of them have a sun motif to them, either a sun motif or a lion motif. Definitely reminiscent of Caraco, like 100%, no questions asked. That's 100% what these weapons are modeled around, like the design of them is modeled around. You can see one of the spears, instead of having the typical spearhead, it has a fan-shaped blade on both ends, one smaller, one larger. That is patterned after the rising sun. Stuff like that.
So you're saying that despite the sun being bright, it was basically non-existent to these people for the past few centuries, or still kept it alive by traditions and shit. That you're trying to say here, VG?
Pretty much, yeah. So what you know of Caraco, just like off the top of your head, Karako is he's a sun god. He also encompasses other domains and other ideals. But most iconography of him is as a sun god. And you also know that Karako obviously is one of the newer gods, so these people are basing their iconography off of him and not the actual sun. Because they would have never seen the sun. That's why most of the sun iconography has something to do with him, like either a lion's face or like, cat paws and claws, like holding the sun, or like, stuff like that. So it is all like connected to him rather than the actual, burning ball in the sky type of thing. You guys, of course, have seen the sun before when you lived on the moon. Those of you who were actually there. So you know immediately that, obviously this is true, like a true depiction of it. But you find it odd that the people here, or I guess maybe not odd, but like interesting that the people here have the same iconography that the sun would invoke without ever having seen it.
Kind of lends the idea of maybe there was some oracles still kicking about.
Wait, didn't we meet one on the ship?
What about a meatball?
No, didn't we meet an oracle on the ship?
Yeah. You have an oracle that's part of your crew.
No, I mean like an oracle directly on the sun god.
An oracle to Karako?
Yeah.
Karako. You almost have to say it with the fucking Khajiit accent.
Karako.
Karako. The god
Guess
of
what?
justice, emancipation, and the sun. Warm sands to you, traveler. Alright, well, that concludes the tour of what we've got on display at the moment. Feel free to browse and peruse, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I know enough about these myself, and I've done this tour so many times that I should be able to answer anything you have to throw at me.
You said that no one knows what you said that no one knows what archdemon that the demon lord that cultist was worshiping back there with the robe.
There are several demon princes, archdevils that have snake iconography, and as far as that goes, there's it's not that we don't know; it's that there's many to pick from, as far as we can tell.
Just looking at it, I was just had a potential hypothesis, but that's fair enough. I can tell. I guess this guy very clearly is not like a curator. He's just a guy painted the tours.
He's just the tour guide. Like he doesn't do much else. He does do like the museum. You don't need more than maybe 2 people to run the museum, apart from the security, obviously. Which, by the way, the building does have security. It has the Sons of Zazseny as security to it.
It would be a curator that kind of runs the place, right? That kind of
the curator is the curator is responsible for running it, yes, but also for cataloging and sourcing new displays, new artifacts, new stuff like that.
Would it be the curator I talk to if I have a potential idea what an artifact might actually be?
The curator's basically Hadrigan. So,
no.
So that would be he's basically the guy that runs it anyway. The people here are meant to just work the museum. Like they're not like in charge of determining what stuff it is.
Shame. I was hoping there'd be a funny historian here that Chance could talk to.
No, not in this
Bounce off
place.
of.
Not in this place. That would be most likely you'd find that person in the college. It's probably fucking what's his
Talstein.
name? Yeah, Talstein. Like he is the professor of antiquities at the college.
Yeah.
So he's responsible for a lot of that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, one more thing to say to Sir Hadrigan, because I believe I may know who in particular this cultist is worshipping.
There you go. Cool.
And chances, after reading that Loose by the Turk, chances could just wander around and peruse. If anyone else do something, go ahead, because Chance Misk is going to be here for the rest of the day.
Sounds good.
How much did the diamond cost?
I mean, it has to cost 50 gold, right?
Yeah, because the pin.
The what?
Well,
Uh,
he's asking like, hey, the pin's worth. The pin gives a discount, but if the diamond's still worth 50 gold, but we get a discount, does it still count as worth 50 gold?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yeah. I didn't know what you were asking. I was like, duh, 50. So for you guys, it would be like a 35 gold
Okay.
purchase for a 50 gold diamond.
Okay, that's all I need.
Does anyone have anything else they want to do in Zazseny right now, other than the museum stuff? I know that Strovan wanted to look at museum stuff, right? I don't know if he's here or not. I don't think he is. Yeah, he's not here. Do the two of you want to do anything else?
Not really.
Okay. Because I'm gonna cut this session short because we're missing 2 people and they're not coming back.
I'm back.
Okay. No, I mean Starcow and Munsell are not coming back for this session, so I'm gonna cut it short before we go too far. But I'm asking if anyone else has anything they want to do in Zazseny, any people they want to talk to, etc., etc. Do it now, because this is gonna be cut short.
I would like to do museum stuff, but
What kind of museum stuff?
well, again, perusing the artifacts because you said I could spend time and just look over things.
Oh yeah, sure. What would you like to know about certain things?
Well, historical significance, potentially a place of origin for some of these. Because we have what the guide's telling us, but I want to see if I can get any like deeper insights that he or even Hadrigan might not be aware of. Because Chansar was able to figure out who that cult was worshipping, which apparently Hadrigan was unable to.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make your history check.
History plus D4 is funny profession dice.
Oh, here's what I'll do. Roll once for each section. There's 3
Alright,
sections.
first
so-
one. I guess this first one is the cult stuff. Well, let's see. There was a giant section. There was the cult section. There was the what else was I? What else am I missing? Underdark, I think.
The Arval section, which primarily is primarily made up of relics from Japheth, which is the realm of the cat people.
Because you kind of there is some kind of info dump here. I may ask that you send me some of this stuff, just so I can copy it down later.
I don't know that I can without giving spoilers. It just depends on what you roll.
Yeah, depending on what I roll. I mean,
Plus, this is like to see if you can figure out just general stuff. Like this is not going to give you any specifics at all. Okay.
that's a 15, so that actually manages to beat the DC of Insightful Discovery.
That's for the cults. Second one's for the giants. Cool. And then third one for cat people. Easy enough. Okay, so easy enough DC for all three of them. Managing to make those. The relics of the cultists. There are several of them from different cult groups that have either been sourced or sold or found, changed hands over the years, whatever it is. Obviously, you know the historical significance of this because this was from a time when magic basically dipped the fuck out. In terms of like non patron sponsored magic, just because the weave was fucked up at that time. So you already know like basically the historical purpose and significance of that one already. You know the several of the different types of daggers have different iconography on them. Most of them used in like you can tell that most of them were ceremonial, but were still sharp because they fought all the time. So there was a necessity to use them as weapons when needed. But a lot of these are like ritualistic daggers, more ornate than a normal weapon would be. You can find iconography for, obviously Seth on the robe, but then also there is death iconography for Talona, for Shar, for Ball is another one. Several of these were found from the Underdark, so there's a spider motif for Lolth on many of the pieces. She's probably the most prominent figure represented by any of these artifacts. And then there's also one piece that is a knife made out of a dragon scale. It's like short, thick blade made out of a dragon scale. That denotes a connection to Tiamat. In terms of the giant stuff, most of that is like it's just like collected kitchen utensils and kitchenware. It's hard to display giant culture as artifacts because you need the space to do so. So there's not a whole lot that you can get there. One thing you do note is that obviously with these things being made by giants primarily because it has to be sized for them, there's a lot of their own culture thrown in there. Like you can see etched along the handles of some of the utensils there are runes which with a 15 you can assume to be a signature of some kind or a brand, because they all are the same rune over and over again. So whoever like had them custom made for their domicile. So that's pretty much all you're probably going to be able to get from that at the moment. Third one was the
Arval.
Arval people. That one, because Arval is relatively new in the grand scope of the history of this world, as far as like a new discovery, like people colonizing it, that kind of thing. Most if not all of the artifacts here are from the same place, and that is due to the fact that the settlements that have been found there and the interaction that Onyx has had with the indigenous peoples of Arval are all essentially concentrated to the south, the southern portion of the continent. which is made up greatly by the Empire of Japheth, which you can ask the tour guide and get that name from. Japheth is the kingdom, the empire, the ruling body that makes up the Ashen Expanse in Araval. What?
How the fuck you spell that?
Oh, JA apostrophe FITH.
One more time, slower.
JA
Okay.
apostrophe FITH. Japheth.
Empire in the Ashen Wastes.
Ashen Expanse.
Ashen Expanse.
In terms of like cultural significance, practice, languages, that kind of thing, the weapons and burial urns on display have very clear, very defined religious significance, as well as the weapons obviously being practical. You can tell that the weapons themselves have not seen much wear and tear, as if these were like commissioned and purchased as an example, rather than they were actually used in some kind of like historical context. So, I mean, obviously, you're not going to be able to glean much from them other than the religious iconography associated. On some of the burial urns, there is additional iconography of a black tabaxi wrapped in a robe that is very, very, very minor and always on the lower half of the jar. But this is a figure that you notice appears on every single one of them. Always lesser and always below Caraco in terms of where the iconography lies in relation to everything else on any of the pieces.
I will kind of ask, what's this? And kind of gesture to the smaller image. So I can get tour guides that. What was this?
You know, that is an interesting question. It is believed that this is some kind of figure central to their religion, because he appears in a lot of different depictions of surrounding death or surrounding just their god Caraco in general. Now, we don't know if this is maybe an underworld figure, some kind of god that exists for them. We're not entirely sure what the story is. The people there in Japheth, generally speaking, are not on good terms with the colonists, considering that they've set up shop in what they deem to be their territory. Now, that being said, we were still able to procure these, of course, for display, because gold, of course, has a language all its own in many different parts of the world. So it's anyone's guess as to what it actually is, but the prevailing theory is that it's some kind of figure associated with death or something along those lines. Now, take that with a grain of salt, because obviously we have a very limited collection. We don't know exactly what other things he could be a part of, if he's maybe part of a grander pantheon or storyline that they've figured out. But as far as what we've managed to gather on the not only the religious significance, but also the practical uses of especially these items, the burial urns, and also weapons, which arguably can also be associated with death on many levels. That is what we have to go off of.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Huh.
So we have a cult to Zeth over there. This is honestly quite the collection, right?
Several of them. There's Seth, Talona, Shar, Baal, Lolth, and Tiamat are the ones that you were able to pick out.
Yeah. To kind of give someone because Chance kind of wants a bit of a springboard to bounce what he's saying off of. He will just kind of just start gesturing to them and indicating them to the tour guide, and just start rattling off names.
Well, hell, where the hell did you get the guided tour? You seem to know a lot more than I do, friend. Yeah, it's very, very perceptive of you. Yeah, a lot of those darker beings, generally speaking, had their own brand, let's say, that their cultists wore and carried on them. Fought with, died with. In fact, if you peer over at this dagger here, you can see there's still a little bit of rust on the blade from where somebody was stabbed a long time ago. Yeah, as far as the collection's concerned on this half, we've gotten a lot of different artifacts of those old cults.
Huh. Interesting.
And were these like question, Luigi? Were these like known names, like what these were, or is Chance kind of just started just making assertions that they have no way to verify?
No, they're pretty well known. The only one that's kind of niche is Seth, because obviously he's a god specific to Yuan-Ti in the most cases. And there are other
secret people by nature.
Yeah, there are other gods and goddesses out there that had cults that also like share his domains. Like for example, Seth and Talona are very similar because Seth is a god of poison, and Talona is a goddess of poison. So like they kind of bump heads when it comes to their domains a little bit. Seth has a more expanded domain, but he's not the most popular god, right? Talona is the goddess of disease and poison, and she's the person that people think of first in general if you're not a Yuan-Ti. If you are Yuan-Ti, you're like, it's Seth. It's always Seth.
I was wondering how much of an
How much of an
how much of it. I'm trying to think of a thing. Let's see here.
Fucking Seth Green causing problem in the future.
Yeah, but Chance is like very much happy to finally see like some proper artifacts, some proper fucking museums.
Yeah, man. Strovan would have shown up by this point. Is there anything you wanted to do in this museum that I haven't said already?
I'm assuming Chance is going to fill him in on whatever you guys found.
Yep.
Sure.
Then no.
Sounds good. All right. So here's the deal, guys. Here's the deal. We're missing 2 people. They left, and they're not coming back for the rest of this session, as far as I can tell. So with that being said, I'm going to call it short, like real short here, so that we can get them on board for what comes next. Hopefully, we'll see. I know that Devin Devonta has a new job, so he won't be here for next week's session, in all likelihood. but he says that he should be able to continue like sessions with us. It's just that he doesn't know about next week specifically. On top of that, obviously, Brionic is starting school again, so I don't know that he's going to be able to join us next week either. If both of them can't, I'll just postpone again, and we'll take another week off. But if we have the majority of you, or rather, if we have only one person missing, then we'll continue this.
All right.
Okay.
But as of right now, it's just intro to Zazseny. Sorry. I know it's been such a long time since we've gotten to play, and I wanted to get more done, but obviously I want other people to be a part of it, so we're just going to stop it there. Thank you all for joining me. It's a decent 2.25 hour session, I guess. Short session.
If
Like,
we
Good
do,
chunk of that was Chance asking about funny lore.
Funny.
if we
Ah.
do have to take take time off from the campaign, could we at least get downtime in the future?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'm not planning on like not waking up for sessions. I don't know what the fuck is going on with my phone, but I need to figure that out because my alarms have not been waking me up, and it's been a problem. So I'm gonna try and solve that as soon as possible. And if we do need to take a time off, I mean, if there's nothing else going on, you can. But given what I have planned, if we miss next week, I'm not gonna give you like downtime. We're just gonna start off from where we left off at the museum, because I have stuff that happens afterward.
Okay.
So, okay, we're gonna call it there. Thank y'all for joining. We'll go back with episode 31, if not next week, then the week after. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.